we've been talking about NBA and tanking, right? Tanking. How can they fix it? How can we fix it? How can we make it better? And Mo, I'm gonna tell you this, and you tell me, what you think about this. Here's my thought process on tanking
I can't
or
wait to hear
or
this.
trying to fix the tanking. So we already know, you know, the worst record has the most ping pong balls or something like that, and it's you got the best chance. It's not like the NFL. But what I do want them to do, I do want them to adopt the NFL, but I want it to be in a reverse order. Follow me, sir.
Okay.
So to avoid tanking, we were just talking about uh 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 teams that that's on the bubble, teams that didn't make the playoffs, and everything. So there's 16 teams that make the playoffs, right?
Okay.
My thought process is whoever is 17th, they get the first pick, and you work your way down that way.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
And you work your way down. Then you don't have these people out here not playing people, limiting people minutes, telling people don't shoot this, don't make these points, don't do this, don't do that. All that stuff that goes along with trying to position yourself for the best opportunity to get the number one overall pick. So you know what? Because you're not the worst team. So if you shouldn't get rewarded being the worst team if you're working to be the worst team. You get what
Okay.
I'm
So
saying?
so 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 how would it work in this regard? So you're looking at essentially the 11th seed, right? You got the
Uh,
Eastern Conference, you got the Western Conference, you got because you
Ninth
got
seed.
9 and 10 because they get to play in, right?
Right.
So that's going to leave you with the 11th seed. In this case, right now, it's the Raptors in the East, and it would be the Suns in the West. So how do you determine who gets that first pick? Or am I misunderstanding what you're saying?
You can do it by record, or the NBA is changing what they do anyway. Then you can have a mini tournament
Okay,
after the
y'all got to
postseason.
play for it.
Yeah, post one, just one. There ain't no best of three or nothing
Okay,
like that. One. And you know what? The remaining teams, whoever win that one, because what's another week or two of NBA basketball that people are, will watch because you can slot them in the middle of the first round of the playoffs, and you watch these teams and say, hey, you know what? If you want it, win it,
I,
win
li-
it.
I like that, JB. I actually like
So,
that idea. I was curious what you gonna come up with, but I like that idea.
yeah,
Round of applause. I got to give you something for that. I got to give you something for that.
thank
Now,
you.
what would be fun is watching that shootout between those two teams. I think that'll be just as long as they place it right. Do it before
Yeah,
the playoffs. But I okay, I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
Maybe,
Sell it.
maybe, yeah, maybe you could give them an extra few days in between before the playoff starts or something like that. And you take these teams and you will them down. And yeah, whoever wins, that tournament, or again, whoever maybe has the best record of the I don't want to say losing, season, but whoever has the best record out of all the teams that did not make the playoff, you
Hmm.
start from there and you work your way down until people start playing the right way. Because you can change I mean, it's your league. You can change the rules anytime you want. So you can
Right.
change it back. Now, how would that look, where you have a team who on the cusp of maybe doing something special, and then they get that number one overall pick.
Right.
Because you just like you just said, like the Raptors, are there. Um, maybe that person they get, Cooper Flag or whoever else, maybe that elevates that team to now be one of those upper echelon teams or one of those teams that's up and coming. Because we've seen the other teams, Mo, we've seen the other teams that finish, and I'm not hating, but we've seen them finish 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Right.
And then next year, you 7, 8, 9, and 10 again. Or then the
Hmm.
next year, you 12, 13, 14. Like, so I'm just like, no one's paying attention to, it's just like, oh, uh, such and such was the worst team or whatever. So we're gonna keep an eye just as much as we're gonna keep an eye on the team
Yeah.
that was, 14. No, you're not watching either one of them, unless it's your team that gets the number one overall pick. Then of course you got some personal
Hmm.
vested interest, but
And
try it for a year or 2 or 3 years.
yeah, try it because
And
the only question I would have is I know the players is no they're not pledging allegiance to any team. The NBA in the NBA, these players they all about the contracts and whatnot, and they understand it's a business. The incentive is more for the coaches. Can you rally your team up to what we need this pick? So let's do what we got to do. But
yeah,
hey, it's bet to me it's better than the lottery pick. I ain't never like that.
yeah. Because I mean,
And I know you
you
still salty about the Wimby situation, but hey, listen. Hey, that situation got you over there thinking. You over there scheming up all kind of ideas.
some because
That's funny.
it's going to, is I think it'll add a flavor into it. It'll
Hmm.
incentivize these players to play. It'll incentivize the coaches to coach and incentivize these teams to stop making as many business decisions
Right.
and play ball, a little bit more. Yeah. You know what?
Okay.
This is how you get, rewarded because we see people, they get to the end of the season or whatever. Oh, such and such is being sat down for the rest of the season or whatever.
Mm.
And it may say, their hand or something like that. And don't get me wrong, they're hurt, but maybe they're not injured. And if a number one pick is on the line, that person may be like, you know what, I'm gonna finish these last 6 games because we got an
Yeah.
opportunity to get the number one overall pick.